Hello everybody and welcome to episode 52. The second season of our Premier League journey has officially begun, and today we're going to play our fifth game of the season away to the champions Manchester United. It's going to be a very daunting challenge, but we're going to give it a go and see if we have come a long way as a club when it comes to these kind of games. But one thing that will throw a spanner in the works is that they've played a midweek fixture against CSK Moscow and they dominated in that affair, so anything better than 6-1 would be a fantastic, but there has to be some sort of belief as they've probably got some tired players. Their tactics will obviously be affected as a result. But as for Chesterfield, we are currently in a respectable 10th position, right slap bang in the middle of the league table, thanks to 2 home wins and then 2 away defeats. So we have a 0 goal difference. Tottenham Hotspur off to a dreadful start. They've only won 1 game. Leicester Middlesbrough also in the relegation zone. We're obviously trying to compete in the top half of the table, but just circumstances have gone against us in those away games, and the likes of Chelsea and Man United are able to pick up points regularly, but they are under a spot of pressure as well. Keep that in mind. They've already scored 10 goals, but they've lost a game and they've drawn a game in recent weeks. But as for Chesterfield, here's what's happened in the Premier League since we've kicked off. We had a good pre-season, nice and healthy, all sorts of goals flying in. But we begin with Fulham, and it was a nervy game. We got an undeserved penalty through Jairo Mesa. It was a apparent dive by the Ruben Loftus-Cheek that got us the penalty in the first place, but they got a quick equaliser. But then we were pushing and clawing for a winner, and we got it through one of our debutants, one of my signings. I'll introduce you to him. And then Thomas Forza made absolutely certain of those points with the 90th minute goal. Disappointment against West Brom. We were very poor in the first half, but we did try and get something back in the second half, but we weren't really the same kind of quality, even though we got more shots on target. I'll show you how that compared with our home game, where we were pretty much in control. We did a job on Wigan away from home at the DW Stadium. We had a goal from Callum Powell and Brian Boring, but they got one back, and that kind of put the pressure on. But we did eventually hold on. We were all dominant, in fairness to us. And then a huge win at the Don Valley Stadium, our new ground, which holds a maximum of 25,000, which was sold out remarkably well for this game. They had a really bad time, but they did take the lead in the 4th minute. And it took us all the way to the second half to turn it around through Bertram, Mesa and Kinsella, my 3 attacking players. They got a goal back and they nearly made us pay for that, but it wasn't to be. We did hold on and we won 3-2. But Cardiff, the team that I love playing in the Championship, have come up and they've done a great job against us. They got those 2 goals in the second half and they put us away, but it's just one of those things. We didn't really show up and we deserved to lose. But Cardiff will be bouncing after that one. We've beaten them every single previous game that we ever played, and the fact they got that result at home is huge for them. You can see it there, green dots all the way and then red. So let's meet those transfers before I forget. We've overhauled the squad quite significantly, but you already know Stephen Kinsella. He's here on a permanent transfer for just €3 million. That's fantastic. A new gen available from Chelsea, David Shanahan. He's a right back and a centre back, and he can provide backup for Brian Lenihan when he's not in good form, or if he's injured, because Matt Doherty hasn't been sold yet. Callum Cook, he wasn't wanted at Middlesbrough anymore, and I felt for these kind of stats and for the kind of money, there was no way I was going to let this one down. Just pounced for the offer straight away, and he's good wages and he's English, so that helps with our homegrown commitments. We've got a loan signing from Fulham. His name is Callum Powell, a regen who can play anywhere in defence or in defensive mid, and he's got some pretty promising stats, but he's age 22 now, so we'll have to hurry up his development, and I hope we're the club that can help him out. But he didn't play so well in his league debut, but did well in the cup. Replacement for what's his name, Paulo Valagusa. He wasn't willing to cut his wages, so instead I've knocked on Aston Villa's door and I received Rasmus Stephenson for a cheap fee. Unfortunately, he was injured in pre-season, so he's yet to feature for me properly. But he did have a decent run in the team during that pre-season, but it hasn't quite paid off for him yet in the first team. My second loan deal this season, another Englishman, Ben Wagstaff, will provide cover, maybe even take the place of Stephen Kinsella for the season. He's really got some promising stats. Perhaps his crossing is dreadful, which is one thing that should be taken into consideration. Very, very bad, but otherwise he's got really above average stats for a guy his age, and Arsenal are willing to let him go for a 47.5k per month deal. A new centre back, which was badly needed. We got a nice cheap deal for Anthony Syra. He came from Schalke, or from Hoffenheim, excuse me, and he was only 1.3 million euros. That was nice and handy. He's done very well, scored a goal, as I said. And from Schalke is just a backup goalkeeper under the age of 20, so we didn't have to register him in the squad. So that is very important for my ability to have a big squad. But he's nice and cheap, and hopefully he'll get some sort of appearance time this season. And last but not least, Michael Henning. He's from Hamburg, I think. Yeah, Hamburg. We got nice installment sort of package for him. We only paid about 2 million straight, and the rest are in installments. So he hasn't made a start yet. I haven't really needed to play him up front as a starter, but so far he's been pretty handy. But he just needs to up his game in future, and I'm sure we'll have a very useful third striker behind Forza and Mesa. One thing I did do was let go of Sean Wilson for a loan deal to Torquay United. He's doing pretty good so far, but he is my 25th player should I need him back at any stage. You can check out my registration here. There he is. He's currently ineligible, but he is a player that I can bring back and make my 25th player. But if I do need to make a signing, he will be left out of the squad, and I'll have to do something else in January if I need to. But you can see my squad is nice and full of players in every position, so that leaves us with that. And there's unfortunately a few players I couldn't get sold, like Pierce, Armstrong, Jake Gray, who's actually getting bidded for. Matt Doherty wouldn't go either. So it's 4 players still on my books taking up precious wages, but we are having very little trouble making money. But we did spend a fair amount in the transfer market, but that's not too bad. And we'll move on now to the game. Fingers crossed it's going to be a good live cam, but if it isn't, we'll just have to move on to the next game, and we'll speak to you at the match screen. So here we are, a generally unchanged team for me, but Forza, Gore and Brian Boring all promoted to the first team. Trent Tafiopoulos also there in centre back, but otherwise, it's pretty much the same team I played in that defeat to Cardiff, so the players should have a bit more experience with coping with away games, which is our real Achilles heel at the minute. United, of course, had a home game, but are very tired, which you'll see in a minute. But our team talk is just no pressure on us. It's all in the opposition. So we'll see how that turns out in our third ever appearance at Old Trafford since I took over. And it's a beautiful capacity crowd at the Theatre of Dreams. And this is an early chance. We conceded our goals from set pieces against Cardiff, and they're very nearly trying to exploit that weakness. But as you can see there, not anybody apart from one player is at full fitness, and Manchester United already dominant despite that handicap, and it's wide from Kovacic, but it was forced to corner. And here comes the Croatian again, and Luke Shaw over the bar. Very dominant start by Manchester United, and Chesterfield will need to take a breather here. We're unable to win that in the air. Here comes Mateo Kovacic, and he's still got the ball. And Lukaku taken down, no penalty. Brian Boring is able to clear, but look at Manchester United, they're completely in control of the situation here. Bruno Fernandes from distance, and Manchester United already doing the business. And Kavanagh hits the wall, and we've lost the ball. That is just not comfortable watching Chesterfield wasting their first good opportunity. I'm going to say to them, we need to show a bit more passion. A few goals in the other games there. Cardiff getting a goal, Everton as well, so not great for us. But there's not really much we can do. They're not hitting their shots on target, which isn't my problem. But this is a chance for Januzaj, blocked, and it's Kovacic, again blocked. Gore back to Lenihan. Forza knocks it down, but we don't see any more of the highlight. Januzaj from a dead ball situation puts it well over the bar, but it's all Manchester United at the minute. And Forza no man's land there. He's not willing to battle for the ball. Micah and Lukaku over the bar. I think we're going to tell him shoot on sight for a little bit, and maybe turn that off, and maybe, I don't know, hit early crosses. That might work. We'll see. Their passing's very poor. We're not able to keep the ball without giving it away. And Czerny, Luke Shaw, back to Czerny, open goal, and it's between the keeper and the defender there, trying to keep it out of the net. And Jonathan Tah has missed as well, so our set pieces are really poor. But it doesn't seem to matter to Manchester United, who can't put them away. They try again, and it's Januzaj back in the midfield to Cesar, Rojo, and Lenihan with a sweet tackle, but he's lost it. And Luke Shaw couldn't score. Well, what are Chesterfield going to do here? He's found Forza from a goal, from a keeper's kick, and Januzaj through ball to Kovacic, and Czerny beats his man, but Muller is saved again. He is a very, very unshakable character. He loves these big games, does Linus Muller, and we're just 5 minutes away from a 0-0 half time. Banks to Boring, losing the ball, and Januzaj deflected to Czerny, Kovacic, Luke Shaw, corner kick. How many is that for the Red Devils? I don't see it there. It's actually 9 corners for Manchester United. Good grief. And Czerny, oh no, it's an own goal. And that's the breakthrough United deserve, to be honest. I think we'll have to be a bit more brave in the second half. But it could be a risk of a second there. Lukaku to Kovacic and Czerny. Oh no, we've melted away here. It's Romelu Lukaku for 2-0. Yeah. Cardiff doing a great job so far. I think we need to give them a bit of a rollicking there. We need to be a bit more brave. We'll try and make a comeback, but I really don't fancy it. From a neutral point of view anyway, I still believe we can get a goal, but in terms of result, I think it's very unlikely. We did so well to hang on for those 40 minutes, but the resistance crumbled, and United are on the attack again. They really, proving their fitness. They're very, very dogged and healthy. And Januzaj, Lenihan off the line. Forza wins a free kick, and he may have been hurt. Hopefully not permanently. No, he's okay to continue, but this could be 3-0 and game over. No. Bruno Fernandes, Jonathan Tah, Januzaj. Oh, good block. We're going to close down more. Headed by Loftus-Cheek, and out for a goal kick. So we're okay for another highlight. No, I don't want to go to that. Come on, lads, let's get something on the board. Forza tackles Cesar, Czerny. Oh, goodness gracious, he's walked to our defence, and just like in that FA Cup live comp, it's 3-0 to Manchester United. Dreadful defending. We're just being carved to pieces. This team should not be doing so well when they're so tired. And that's 4-0. Oh, God almighty. Yeah, this is disastrous. Loftus-Cheek does well, but we're not linking up with the striker, so there's no point. And Lukaku onside gets a save out of Muller, whose rating is tumbled down to 6.6. And Januzaj has made it 5-0. Now that's game over. Not a great way to begin season 2 on the channel, despite winning 2 games at home. But I have to say, that was an absolutely dreadful performance. Only the goalkeeper can really say he did well. Loftus-Cheek was rated well, so was Brian Boring, but 5 games, 6 points. In my opinion, that is good enough, but -5 goal difference. All our hard work has been taken away from us, and you can see Cardiff in 4th place after beating Middlesbrough. So our away form is a disgrace. Just, I don't know how many, like, I know we've lost, I know we've only drawn like 5 away games, something like that, but to have only won 1 in about 22 away games is just, it really is a big problem, and we have to sort that out straight away. Yeah, I just say, yeah, it was a poor performance. Yeah, so we have a cup game that will hopefully help us bounce back, but we've conceded 7 goals in 2 away games, and we've conceded twice in every away game so far without success. So Reading, Swansea, we thrashed them last season at home. We got Liverpool at home, who we beat, and we've Sunderland at home. So we've got to get 6 points out of these games, and then we have to go away 2 London trips to Tottenham and Chelsea before November begins with a big game against Aston Villa. So these home games are what truly count, and we've got 4 of them in a row. So let's get some points, and let's pick up our broken bodies and try again. We'll speak again when the time is right, and I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye, everybody.